Hello everyone, today is day 27 of our 30-day challenge, and this morning took an unexpected turn, and so we're recording this live in the vehicle, so you're going to hear a lot of background noise. Day 27 was all about death perception and how we sometimes push things off because of the perception or the thought that death is further away than it is. But at the end of the day, what do we know? Nobody knows anything. This could be your last minute. This could be the last podcast I record. Tomorrow could be your last day. Next month. There's a verse in the Bible that says that we are all like vapors, here today, gone tomorrow. And sometimes it's hard to appreciate the futility of life until we come face to face, until death comes closer. A neighbor, some superstar that you see on TV. In those moments, we realize the fragility of life. And not just that, but we realize what really matters, what's important, what's worth pursuing, the arguments, the neglect, the phone calls, the things that we say we'll do tomorrow. And so today, on our 27th day, the goal here is to think about what would life be like if you knew you only had 30 days, 3 months, 30 years, if you only had a guaranteed set finite amount of time. As I'm driving today, I'm in the vehicle with one of our members. He's actually a family member as well. And he asked me a question. And it had to do with identity. And he asked, how do we remember our identity? Because sometimes we forget. And it's no different than a police officer who's off duty and he witnesses a cop being hurt, or he witnesses injustice. Does he need to remember, even though he doesn't have his full armor, the remembrance of who he is? How does he then remember? It's almost like it's embedded into the fabric of his DNA, who he is, his purpose. How do we get to a point where we never forget our identity? That circumstances may come to shift, to challenge. And there's so many verses throughout the Bible. The New Testament is full of these verses. One of them that I can call to mind is when Paul mentions putting on the full armor, the chest plate, the sword. And the sword is more of a defensive mechanism. But when you have on this full armor, when you do it the first thing in the morning, it doesn't mean that your day is not going to be challenged or your plans won't be challenged. But everywhere you go, not only you, but others recognize that identity. And tying this back to our death perception, what is it? Who do you need to become? What sense of urgency would it invite in your life, knowing that you only had 30 days left? That this year would be your last year. Everybody that passed this year had no idea this was going to be their last year, that they wouldn't see today. Would you still have that argument? Would you still hold on to that grudge? Would you still not do the thing that you said you would do? I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it next year. I'll do it next week. Death is closer than we think. And this is not my attempt to be morbid, but it's an attempt to bring reality closer. Because when we work as if today is our last, we give it our all. There's a sense of pride. We love, strong, hard. We give, we sacrifice. And we do things with a sense of urgency and importance. And so on this 27th day of May, what would life look like if you knew? If this was it? If next year was it? And you can play with the numbers. And I've used a rule. You can call it your 666 rule, your 10-10-10 rule, whatever you want to do. But there are certain irritations that come to us. And the 10-10-10 rule is, in 10 days will this matter? In 10 months will this matter? In 10 years will this matter? And when you put it, you stretch out the horizon, the time horizon to most of these events, you start to notice that many of the day-to-day irritations are things that you won't even be thinking about in 10 days, much less 10 weeks, much less 10 months, or even 10 years. And so why waste the energy? Why waste the time? And most importantly, why waste the attention on these things? The conversations, the phone calls, the grudges. So let's take a moment today and reflect on the importance of our death perception and what we really know, what we really have control over.